All right, people. Sorry, I was here on time. You could see that on the pre-stream.
That is true.
But then I held this up there because I made a typo on the Instagram post I was doing on the yarn building floor. Has been cut, so that's good. I've been jerking around getting ready for audio and making some audio videos and getting all that stuff prepared. And Mike's been cutting the floor. Been shooting sort of a vlog style video of that. And then we're going to do like a full DIY video to explain what you need to do, what all the dimensions and all that stuff need to be, and I'll share that process. So it's been fun to watch.
Yeah, it's quite a process.
Not fun, and then my freaking garage is all dirty now. I've been taking extra care to keep it clean, and now it's trashed. That's no good.
All right, so it's Friday.
Yeah.
Friday after Black Friday.
Yeah.
The OG crew has been working hard for a week or so now in a row. Getting lots of orders out.
Yeah, this is always that difficult week where people are starting to get a little antsy about getting their stuff, and I think that if you just be patient, it usually takes us about 10 days to catch back up. So those of you like place an order today would normally get it, would normally ship today, but you're probably going to be shipped mid to late next week. And so I understand it's a bit disconcerting. You're wondering where your stuff is, but just be patient. Give us a couple of weeks and we'll get back to normal and be shipping stuff out super fast like we normally do. Because we get a normal order flow of a couple 100 orders a day, and then the orders on Black Friday, our average order value was up like 30% or something like that.
Yeah, they were big.
So that means the number of items in each box was up substantially, and so it takes a while for them to kind of work through the orders.
And it stinks. I understand if you order one bottle of Breakbuster today, like, why can't I just get it? It's right there. But we also have 2,000 orders in front of it, so we're getting to them super quickly, though.
Yeah, but keep them coming in. We'll get it to you. We'll get it to you. And then I just made a video for our Reserve Your Spot, which is the exclusive list of people who have ordered things. It has shipped, and there's still an item or two that we're waiting on that's on back order. So we'll be doing more and more every single day. We feels like we're improving something minor on our Reserve Your Spot, and by the end of a month or two down the road, we'll have some really ironclad dates. That's the other thing, is that suppliers don't really know where things have settled after a Black Friday weekend, and so I knew that we'd start the Reserve Your Spot thing in the end of beginning of November. And then it would probably take 2 or 3 months to start to get some really solid data out to the people. The key is I think people just want to know that we're working for them. Mm-hmm. We're working to make sure we get the stuff, and then if we're not getting the stuff, when are we getting the stuff, and then fight for dates, fight for that information. So just know that we're completely revamping our entire process and how it's done. So we're working on it.
All right, let's see. We have our buddy Dan Pfeiffer always checking in from Minnesota. We got people from San Antonio today, from the West Coast, where it's still morning. We got a couple super chats already, so let's get to that. Sweet Jazz, 2007, $5. DIC-10 spotless system. I'm getting leaks from the O-rings on the canisters. Have you seen this? Over-tightening makes filter removal very hard.
My guess is maybe its O-rings probably need to either be lubricated, maybe put some Vaseline on there, or maybe hit up. If you bought it from us, shoot us an email and we'll maybe we can order some new O-rings. They're probably 50 cents or $1 or something like that. So I would guess your O-rings are probably just crushed, and they probably just need to be either lubricated or replaced. I haven't seen that happen. And yeah, you don't want to over tighten them because then you're going to get them off. They should go on pretty tightly, but the other thing, make sure none of it's pinching. That's another major thing that I've seen. The only time I've ever seen those leak, but they're usually pretty reliable.
Let's see. We have from Don B in the chat. Hey, Matt, want to get your advice? He's remodeling his house. The electricians have been doing a great job. I usually give $20 cash to leader and helper each day. Am I devaluing the tip by giving it each time?
Yeah, I'm a big supporter of palm it up front, right?
One time.
Yeah, I mean the arrears doesn't really do you any good unless it's somebody's going to come back, and work for you. So like the furniture delivery guys, you don't like doing the tip at the end. Do it in the beginning. That way you get the best result. I understand the idea of a tip would be you provide them a tip for services well done. But then you have that's our only way to really control it is to show some appreciation up front. Hey, and you might get burned a few times, but I would be willing to bet you get a better result. So I'd be inclined to palm a hundo up front. And then if you wanted to, maybe buy them lunch, in day 2 or 3 or something like that, I think that'd be a smart move.
That's a good call.
Yeah.
Philippe Champagne. That's the most Canadian name ever. Says, hey there from Ottawa, Ontario, Canada. Hey, Philippe. What's up from Delaware? People everywhere today. We have another super chat here. Let's see. Oh, let me get to this first. Shaz29. I bought the Fuel 1/4 inch and 3/8 inch extended reach ratchets. Should I have gotten the high speeds instead?
It's not in the long reach. You can't. So the extended stuff you can't. They don't have a high speed, at least not yet. And so you don't really have a choice there. But in the regular ratchet, I like the high speeds better, but they do have less torque, so they are a little bit less functional. But it does move a lot quicker. So I've found that I like the high speeds better because they get the fastener on, and then I'm usually not torquing with that tool anyway. I'm usually going to have another ratchet in my other hand, a regular ratchet, non-powered. But the extended reaches, there's only one option, so you did good. Well.
RCH Rest, Super Chat, $4.99. Looking forward to the Krenzo 1322. Any movement from the dock? Will I get an email from OG with tracking once it's shipped? Yes, definitely. And he says, P.S. Gen 3 Raptor is worth the markup. I don't think he'll agree with you there.
I'm not doing it.
But yeah, as soon as they ship, you will get, Manny will send you an email with tracking so that you know where it is and that it's on the way. Big yes there. Michael Alva says he's incredibly impressed with how fast items are processed and shipped. His arrives today. Awesome.
Well, again, it depends on when you ordered it.
Right.
The further down the chaos list, the more people would disagree with you. So the good news is that 95 or 98% of our people that buy, know when they bought and they understand it and they're following along here. So yeah, if you bought, we're into Sunday now, and
Sunday
then
orders.
and so that means we're 6 days behind, but we should get to pretty close to the end of Sunday today, and then tomorrow. I guess there is no tomorrow, but Monday we'll be back on. I forget. Are they coming in tomorrow?
No, they're coming in tomorrow, 7 a.m. to 1 p.m. So they're going to get some out tomorrow.
It's this delicate balance is that I want the people that remember where we currently are is that these people, that everybody packing and shipping has to be an expert in the product. And so if you just bring all hands on deck, we've tried that before. It's a disaster. Then we end up shipping all the wrong stuff. And so we're in this delicate balance of getting them overtime, but there's only so much you can do before you collapse, and so I'm working these guys pretty hard, really hard. And so we're trying to find that balance. We want to get all the orders out, get all the customers happy, and even the impatient, try to get them satisfied, versus, running our people to the ground.
Let's see. We have a question from Shaz about he wants you to help choose his living room 77-inch OLED.
Mm-hmm.
You got any advice there first?
Yeah, the Sony's nice. I hate the operating system of the Sony. Was it the A90? I would buy the C, whichever version of C, current C version of the LG. It's like C something. It's not called C11. It's the 11th iteration of the TV. But 77C something or other. Maybe it's currently still on the 77. Maybe it's still the CX, C10. It went back to C1, I think. That seems correct. So I like the LG. Don't buy the Signature series or anything like that because you're paying more for speakers. So you want that like $3,800, $3,500 or something like that. For the whatever the latest iteration of the 77 LG. Remember that Sony's panel, the LG's manufacturing the OLED panel for them, but supposedly Sony's processing is better. But I also like the Sony's like the coating they put on the screen, it's a little less glary. But I still choose the LG because of its simplicity, and I freaking hate the Sony operating system. It's terrible.
All right, Michael Alva, who just was happy about his shipment. Brad here in the chat says, shout out to Michael Alva. from Facebook for working with us on Facebook ad credits during Black Friday. So thank
sweet.
you. That's cool, Michael. Thank you. Always appreciate help. A couple super chats to get through. Improved Garage, $5 US. Ordered Thursday night. Good move on your part.
Yeah, that's smart.
It was shipped Friday morning.
Yep.
Opened in California yesterday. So got there on Thursday. Everything was perfect. Great packing as always. Nice.
Yeah, that's the goal. Is that we're, at some point we get to the point where even a Black Friday we make that same experience the whole way through. We're not there yet. We're still learning how to do this. And it's fun it stresses all of us out, but it's fun to figure these things out and to have an opportunity, because many companies don't ever have this opportunity. So we have this opportunity to figure it out and to be as transparent as possible and to hopefully garner future support from more and more people.
Super chat from our friend Yoshi here, $20 US. Will there be a series making Chris's new luxury vehicle acquisition OG spec?
There will not.
It's already OG spec, Yoshi. Come on. That's nice. Thank you, Yoshi. Drew Bogus, $4.99 US, says it's his first time catching the show live. Super impressed with the OG drying aid, very slick and surprisingly long-lasting.
I didn't know about the long-lasting part, but yeah, I guess. But it's a good thing. It's I think the best drying aid on the planet currently.
All right, Dustin Mowry says he ordered the OG drying aid on Black Friday. Been using Bead Maker after every wash. Should I wait a few washes before using the new drying aid or start using it right away?
No, it plays well. I went right to it on all of my cars and didn't notice any issues. So yeah, you'll be good to go. Just on your next wash, go for it.
All right, happy Friday, OG crew. This is from Patrick Brown from Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. That's the one place in Canada I've been, Hamilton. Hope to see you guys here soon. We're working on it.
I still have only been to Niagara Falls, which I understand doesn't count. And I'm ready to go. Ready.
All right, Jack Boudreau in the chat says, hey, Matt, last week's podcast, you talked through your thoughts on selling OG. $25 million would make you think about it. Mm-hmm. How do you feel about that having come from humble beginnings in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, I am feeling a little stingy. The 25 doesn't seem like it's enough, So I've said this many times, money is not my thing. I don't really care much about it. I only care what it can do for me. I care about, I want to be able to go to a restaurant and order whatever I want without thinking about it. I want to be able to, now, my focus has shifted quite a bit, and I want to be able to enrich the others around me that are supporting, me and this company, the people who work here. That's one of my current goals. But it would be nice to take that weight off of my brain of ever having to think about money again. And I think we're pretty close to that. And I don't think it has to involve a sale of the company. I think it would be a very likely outcome that if I sold the company, I would want it back. So, and it's such an infant thing, and without me right now, the company's not worth very much. I think at some point it very well could. But that's not the goal. The goal isn't to pump and dump. The goal is to just keep living life and enjoying it. And hopefully some money, the money is just a result. So hopefully some results come from that. But I'm attempting to focus on the journey and not the destination, and focus on the fun part of it. But that there is ever that possibility. Maybe our brand, I think our brand will continue to grow, and maybe that brand has some real value to some larger corporation or some private equity firm or something like that. And I'm fearful that someday that knock comes on the door, and then you have to answer it. And what do you do? What if someone offers you $75 million? What do you
sign right there?
What do you do? I don't know. Because again, if someone's going to offer you that much for it, chances are you're already making tons of money, right?
What are you going to do with $75 million anyway?
I'm going to try to rebuild Obsessed Garage, right? I don't know. Maybe that everybody tells me that when you turn 50, and you get in your 50s, sometimes that changes. I don't know. Who knows?
We'll see.
Depends on how much Chris and all these people here annoy me, and how much I want to get out of here. right now I can't wait to get up and like I get frustrated. I got to brush my teeth and eat something for breakfast. I'm like wasting time. So, and I don't want to leave here. I only leave because everybody else leaves, and I'm like, what am I going to do? we did everything today. I don't know how to pack a box anymore, so I can't go do that.
Can't do much.
Yeah, and we're kind of in limbo here with everything being a mess. So, yeah.
All right, from TC24 in the chat, do you have any plans for a true smart home ecosystem like Home Assistant with cameras, sensors, lights, thermostats, etc. to enhance your home?
Zero.
I'm not talking amateur voice control only. Why or why not?
No.
You don't like that?
Yeah, I don't like. He's talking to Lawn, Crestron, Control 4, something like that, to be a full automation, full home automation system. They don't freaking. They've gotten a lot better, but in general, they don't really work unless you have like a really world-class installer, and even then, he's going to have to support it. I just don't see the need. And I get that people don't know, but very few people see the need of Obsessed Garage, right? It's just not my thing. Like, I'm not into that. I'm not into mediocre audio all throughout the house. I'd rather have a few dense, high-end, high-quality audio areas of the house and not audio in the other places. I don't need something to turn the lights off for me. I don't mind walking and turning the light switch off. Security. I mean, we live in one of the advantages of living in Craptown, USA, is that no one's here and no one's going to mess with it. So that's an advantage of being here. So security is not a huge concern. Now, maybe if someday I make a video saying I just got $75 million from my business, maybe I'll need a little more security. Right now, I'm telling you I'm broke. So maybe that would change at some point, but security is not a big focus of mine. And so trying to integrate all of that stuff is largely problematic. I've seen it. I've sold it. I've designed it. I've been a part of it. And yes, it's gotten more sophisticated, but it's not something that I have a real sincere interest in, and so to me it just feels like it's not something I want, and I understand why people do it. I'm not opposed to it, but I'm just not going to do it in my house. So you're about to see a multi-part series come out here shortly, where we get into the start of Destination OG and the start of my house here physically, and what we're going to share with you there. And that house is not going to include any kind of automation, and neither would any of the Destination OG houses.
Let's see. We have a question from Cameron. Although, Cameron, we do have some videos that'll help you see this better too. But how do you ensure your Swiss tracks is centered in your garage as you are laying it? Do you lay out a majority of your center section and then measure each side to the walls? I'm installing mine tomorrow. So everything is dictated by the border you've chosen, right? And your garage doors. So you're going to line up the floor on the garage doors, but based on where the border is. So it really doesn't matter if you have a big cut on the left and a small cut on the right, or no cut on the left and a big cut on the right. What dictates how your tiles are going to float is where your border is. And the border is very rarely going to be exact. So people who try to do like the parking of each parking area, it usually doesn't line up properly because of the tiles are 15 3/4 by 15 3/4. So it usually doesn't line up. So I usually recommend, just if you're gonna do a border, just do a border, just to kind of for attention. Take your eyes off the fact that it's the exact same color throughout. But you'll see when you start floating it, and this is why I talk about when you're doing the home designer or the floor designer on the Swiss Track site, it doesn't really matter much what the it doesn't have to be like exactly symmetrical, because you're going to float it in person. And so you're going to set up, usually what I do is I'll figure out how many tiles in do I want my border to be. It's usually 1, 2, maybe 3 tiles, depending on how deep your garage is. My last garage, it was 1 tile in, so I had 1 tile of gray and then black. So I set up 2 rows, ran it all the way across the garage doors, and then I set it up on the garage doors exactly where it needed to be, and then that dictated where everything floated. So I had a medium cut on the right and a tiny cut on the left,
and that dictated how everything was functioned. You generally start in the front right corner. That way you have two loops exposed, and you just lay the pegs on top of the loops. You don't have to lift any tiles up as you're putting it on. So if you're looking at the garage doors, you would start on the left-hand side. If you're looking into the garage doors, you'd start on the right-hand side. So it's in that kind of left corner next to your garage doors is how you lay out the floor.
Yeah, and Cameron, you can search Swiss tracks on the channel. There's several on there, including one Matt did his dad's garage that may be helpful to you.
And then we have like a tutorial of exactly what I'm explaining that should be out in maybe this weekend or possibly early next week.
Let's see. Philippe wants to know, our Canadian friend, what would be the best pressure washer for a mobile setup van? Would I need a pump to push the water from the tank to the pressure washer?
Yeah, you don't need a pump, but you need a tank. A Krenzla or an AR are self-priming, so they'll pull from the pump or from the tank without a pump. But a pump's, I always say, is not a terrible idea to have an additional supplemental pump on there. But I think depending on your generator, you want a big generator, 4, 5, 6,000 watts. So the K1622 is, I think, a great mobile detailer rig, 1622 TS. If you have a bigger generator, then the 1322 is always a better choice. But the 1322 does draw quite a bit more current.
Got a couple more happy customers here. Gerald McKeelski Jr. ordered Friday. Mm-hmm. Florida to Pennsylvania, received it on Wednesday. Hex plus priority for the win.
Nice.
And ordering on Friday, smart move too. Mm-hmm. Let's see. B. Kurt says, thanks for sending my order so fast. I wasn't expecting it for a couple more days, given how busy you are. OG, you're awesome as always. Nice.
See, that's what's so cool about all the people that are they're like us, just rational, intelligent humans, that are just chill. Hey, I ordered it. I'll get it. If it was a couple of weeks, I'd probably email and say, hey, what's going on here? Or just say, hey, maybe you lost it or something. What's going on? Can you check in on it for me? And that's what, intelligent, rational people do. And I've got a funny one today. I didn't tell you this. So I'm over there next door, and occasionally, my phone rings probably 10 or 12 times a day. People will Google Obsessed Garage phone number, and they get my phone number, which I've railed against forever. Stop freaking calling me. And so it's at I don't know, it was 9 a.m. here or 8:50 or something like that, and someone calls. I say, hey, this is Matt. I usually know. And I was also waiting a call from Pit Boss, so I thought maybe it was one of the Pit Boss jack guys. They're making a jack that I'm interested in. And somebody suggested in my Facebook post about floor jacks. And so I answered, hey, this is Matt. Hey, this is Matt. And so some lady says, hello? I said, hey, this is Matt. How can I help? And she said, who is this? I said, you called me. What do you mean, who is this? This is Matt. I already said it twice. She goes, is this Obsessed Garage? I said, well, sort of. This is my cell phone, And she says, well, I got the phone number from your website. I said, well, no, you got it by Google searching me, but what you need? I'm here. She says, I'm trying to buy a gift card, and there's nothing but I keep getting this thing about cookies. I don't want to agree to cookies. I said, I'm not sure I understand. Like every website, you click the button. Well, I don't want to. So then I asked her. I said, so what do you think that means? Because I don't know. I was trying to think of what do cookies actually mean, right? Obviously, it has something to do with your data and all that. So I said, what do you think cookies means? Because I don't know. I don't care. I just click the button on the thing. And if your credit card isn't going through, it's because you're denying that. She said, well, I don't want to do the cookies. I said, well, I don't know what to tell you. Have a good day. And she hung up on me.
Oh, man.
That was the funniest thing ever. Who is this? I'm like, what do you mean, who is this? You called me. What do you want? Oh, it's the funniest thing ever. So if somebody in Washington State, so sorry to you if your wife called. This is an older lady, so I'm assuming it'd be an older gentleman who's probably no longer an Obsessed Garage fan because I hacked off his wife. She was calling to buy a gift card, and then I felt kind of bad. Like I was like, what do you mean, who is this? You called me. What do you want? Yeah. So yeah, it was an interesting one. I don't want the cookies. Said, what do you think cookies are? Because I don't know. Why don't you just click yes and put the freaking card in?
Somebody's going to tell us.
I don't want people having my information. So, well, you're giving me your credit card. What do you think is going to happen here? Oh my gosh! You know, she got some LifeLock email or something like that. You know, the people who she probably still has an AOL address she's paying money for, and then has a LifeLock where she's paying $200 a year for nothing. And every time you see like those Experian commercials, they go in and sign up for it and give all their information to them. It's the funniest thing ever. I don't want the cookies. Those cookies are what would get my information out there. So what do you think I'm going to do with this? Get out of here.
Fun stuff.
See if somebody bought a $150 gift card today. Let's see.
Right. Super chat here from Stucky or Stucci, 37, $4.99. Chris, thanks for the suggestion to use Bliss and Eden at the same time. The best. That's true. Matt, any chance we'll do an Inside the Hex post-Black Friday numbers? Noe was also asking about that.
Yeah, I'll probably do that. Yeah, I'm not doing numbers on the YouTube channel anymore because it gets me in trouble. But, yeah, I'm down for that.
All right, let's see. There's your HOA.
What do they want? What are they doing? Oh, guard gifts.
You got to get a Palm the Guard a hundo. That lady's super nice. I like the lady guard.
Yeah.
Let's see. From Detailing 101, greetings from Maryland. Happy Friday. Just did a customer's Gen 3 Raptor. Not a bad truck. Wouldn't pay the marked up price.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on the Milwaukee Impact Wrench? Thinking about buying it from the OG store.
I think if you're doing like a Raptor or you're doing trucks often, the mid torque is going to have a tough time. But the mid torque impact is what you want to start with. But if you're doing a lot of trucks, like if you're taking wheels off, you're detailing them and doing that often, or you have a truck, you're probably going to want the extended anvil, high torque version as well. So,
all right, I found her.
Can you call and apologize to her, please?
We've sold one gift card today, physical gift card at 10:03 a.m.
So she finally did
Washington,
do the cookies.
Cheryl.
Yeah,
For her husband. Mike.
Sorry, Cheryl. I'm not a nice guy.
There's her phone number.
Yep, that's it. That's the number. Why don't you call her and smooth it over for me, Chris? Give her a T-shirt or something like that.
That's funny. No, where's Manny? Look at order 138771. Give her a call.
So it's Mike. Mike is their husband. Yeah, Mike's the husband. Sorry, Mike. I guarantee you I hacked off your wife and made it much more difficult for you to watch the videos from here on out.
Man. But she did buy it. That's nice. Thanks, Cheryl. She really wanted that thing.
I didn't think in a million years she would have bought it after that conversation. What do you mean, who is this? You called me. What do you want? I don't want the cookies. I don't either. I do want cookies, but not those cookies.
Cookie talk. Let's see. LR wants to know, how does Matt feel about quick jacks? Unfortunately, I can't get a new spawn lift in my new garage.
I hate them. Everybody loves them, so you probably should buy them. I'm the only person that hates them in the whole world. I think everybody else loves them. I just don't see the point. Get a floor jack, some Gorilla ramps, and Rhino ramps, I guess they're called, and some jack point jack stands. I ordered 2 jacks today. You probably saw that come through. So I ordered an AC hydraulic, which again I've reserved my spot on it. So it says it'll be April. I wasn't expecting that one. That's a stinger. And then I had a good conversation with Pit Boss today. I shouldn't tell you this. Now everybody's gonna go buy one.
Don't buy them yet.
Pit Boss is like the Orange Vice equivalent. It's sweet, like anodized machine, CNC machined aluminum. They're freaking sick, but they're like $2,000. So people are gonna lose their crap. Yeah.
Well, there we go. There's Jeff Gordon's car.
It was Jeff Gordon's family who founded the company, and this gentleman who started it is now the owner of it. Yeah, but look at how good that looks.
Do they make him in blue?
We're going to, maybe.
That's pretty sweet looking. All right, don't buy them yet, people. Wait till we sell them.
I've got another conversation with SVS on next week, which talking about trying to convince them to let me sell their subwoofers. Lutron told me no.
Not the first one.
So, yeah, they said no. I said, well, why not? And so we're working on that. And yeah, it's been a good day and bad day all in one shot.
All right, our loyal listener here, Bring Your Woods Cruise, says, where can I find information regarding the affiliate program aside from the frequently asked questions section on the webpage? It's a good question. I don't know the answer.
I don't know. Email Bryce.
Yeah, Bryce at obsessedgarage.com.
We're going to, or actually email Jeff. That'd be better.
Jeff at obsessedgarage.com.
Yeah.
JEFF.
We're going to be working on improving that, and nobody likes our platform reversion, so we're working on that.
Douglas Petronzi wants to know, Matt, where do you buy house furniture from?
I usually buy it through my interior designer, Laurel Gebbin Interiors, and she gets stuff from all over the place. But like Wesley Hall is a company she buys a lot from. Restoration Hardware would be another. She has a bunch of lighting suppliers where she'll buy basically from the same place that Restoration buys a lot of stuff from. And then, but that's generally where we get stuff. If I'm just buying it myself, either Pottery Barn or Restoration Hardware, generally.
Trump wants to know, should I put a 3/8 male coupler on my STG gun? Reason I'm asking is my Cobra Jet came with male and female disconnects, and I bought an active pressure washer.
Let's see. Should he put a 3/8 male coupler? No. Take that 3/8 plug off of your hose. You don't want 3/8. Actually, he's talking about his hose. So the inlet to the gun. So he's talking about the inlet. I generally do female and female couplers on both ends of the hose. And then I'll put the plug, so there'll be a plug on the inlet to your gun. So there'll be a 3/8 plug there, a male plug, because there's a female 3/8 MPT inlet to almost all the guns. And that's generally the way that I do it. But I wouldn't put a coupler on the end of the gun. You always want to put the coupler on the end of the hose.
Next question here.
Yeah, no. Swap it around. And don't be a sissy. Go get your girlfriend to help you out. But you ought to be able to take those fittings off of your hose. You just have to use some intelligence and get the right tools.
Elk Road Garage, who is from Scandinavia, says, hey guys, any good advice for getting boxes for organization in the drawers of the Sonic cabinets? I need something a bit bigger than what's offered on Sonic Europe. He's in Scandinavia.
So he's saying getting boxes? So he's probably talking about like the little like nylon little liners of boxes for like fasteners and things like that. I don't really have much of a suggestion. What I've been doing is I take the Milwaukee pack out and just put it in the drawer, like the taller drawers. Or he probably can't really get tool grid, but tool grid little organizers are pretty sweet.
Mm-hmm. All right, our Facebook friend Michael Alva here says, hey Matt, I'd love your input. I have a 2021 Model 3 LR, just paid off.
Mm-hmm.
Have been tinkering with the idea of a BMW M240i and just try to drive as many cool cars as I can. Love the 3 tech, but am I missing out?
Well, yeah, buying a 240i doesn't make any sense to me at all. You'd much just get an M2, and I know they don't. The new M2 will be coming out at some point. So I've never been a big proponent of buying, a $50,000, non-M car, because the M240i is not an M car. And so you would want to just get an M2. And so I would always urge people to, like people who buy like a 540i or 550i, just get an M5. Or getting, like a highly spec'd 340 or 335 or, whatever the current iteration is, just get an M3. Or wait a little while until you can do it. So I'd be inclined to say no, unless you're going to do that move for an M2.
There you go. Nick S says, I bought a Lava Orange 991.1 GT3 RS and a handful of OG products to get the car corrected and coated this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Can't wait. Awesome, Nick.
I'm getting the itch for just doing some detailing. I'm just kind of waiting until we get the garage finished here. That's why I need to get a floor jack for my house. But seeing the mess we're making with the lift here, I'm thinking we're not doing it at my house.
Speaking of jacks, Quick Jack is in the chat here. They sent us a smiley face emoji with hearts after. They are loyal listeners.
That's what you
good.
do when you're confident. When you're like, I don't care what this guy says. We're selling tons of them, so he didn't know what he's talking about. But I don't like them. I do not. Right. It's not that I don't like Tyler. It's that I don't like the Quick Jacks. Yeah. The main reason I don't like it is, where am I going to put them? And most dudes have crap everywhere, so it doesn't matter. They just put them wherever they put them. They hang them on the walls next to the 5 trillion other things they got hanging from the walls with their, the organizer for all the totes that hangs from the ceiling and all that junk.
Oh, that's what that is. Okay.
Yeah, it's those things.
I remember.
So each one's like 80 pounds, and it lifts your car up like 14 inches off the ground, and then that's what people kind of think is great. Well, I don't like it. I want a lift.
That's right. You are not their target audience. Neither am I.
No, actually, I am the prototype. They're just losing that argument.
All right. Joe says, I just picked up the Active VE52 Ultimate Solution. I recently moved to Boston from Southern California. Any tips for those of us in cold weather climates who need to do our washing and detailing outdoors?
Move south, yeah.
Come to Florida.
That's what you need to do. I would be laser focused on, how am I going to get washing done inside? And so I would be, like many are up north, laser focused on how am I going to do pump sprayers and waterless routines or rinseless routines. How can I really dial that process in so that way I'm not, we're so cold that I can't even wash outside. And then I'd be focused on, how am I going to get to a place in life where I saved enough money and built a nice enough garage where I can actually wash inside, where I have a drain, I have a pressure washer, maybe a boom pole, and I can actually wash the car inside. How am I going to deal with all that gunk that comes off the car, and what's that process going to look like? So I would be spending most of my waking time figuring that out.
Invasion HD says he's looking to install in-ceiling lights in a bedroom. Any tips on which brand/color temp lights to get and a good dimmer switch?
Yeah, I'm actually working on that right now. I just mentioned that Lutron said no, which is freaking asinine. The stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. They just said no to me becoming a distributor. Like, it doesn't make any sense. So, like, Google Lutron dimmer switch and try to find one. Forget it. You can't. This is the conversation I had with the guy. I'm like, and he agrees with me, but he says, so look, the answer is not good. You can't become a distributor. So I said, well, can I buy through another distributor, I guess? He said, yeah, sure. And I said, well, what is a distributor? He's like, what do you mean? You just buy from a distributor. Like, who? Who's the distributor? Give me a name. And he rattled off a couple of names I never heard of in my life. I said, so I need to buy right now, and it's like $5,000 worth of lighting control for the yarn building next door. And so I need all this stuff, all these Picos and Lutron Vive and Lutron Hub and all that stuff. And I've even tried, like, just Google searching even the specific model number and description, and I can't find anywhere to buy it. And so I just said to him, I said, so here I am. I'm a customer. I want to buy $5,000 worth of Lutron lighting control, and which in the world of lighting control is not a ton, but I want to buy today, right now. I've got $5,000, and here's my credit card. Where? And I'm like the world's preeminent shopper. You can attest to that.
You are savvy.
I am a freaking shopping wizard. I'm a shopping maven. I'm a professional shopper and unboxer. That's what I do. It's what I'm born to do. Where do I buy it? He's like, well, just buy it from a distributor. Who? Who's the distributor? I can't be one, and nobody else is one. And so he's like, well, you just buy from an electrical supply. Who's an electrical supply? Unless you do that for a living, you go and buy from an electrical supply house. How are you supposed to know? So anyway, what was his question about lights?
Which color, temperature, brand?
So you want either 3,000 or 3,500. And I was pretty adamant about 3,000 until my current house is gray and white, and so it needed to be 3,500. You want to do one of two things. It's the only two things that I know that to this point that really work well. You're either going to go and get yourself like a traditional can and then convert it to LED, and you're going to buy Cree CR fixtures. CR6T is what you want. And so then you would just screw the Edison bulb adapter right into it. I don't know of. I'm sure there are, where you can buy a LED can, or you can buy a can that's already pre-wired for that, that Molex Quick Connect. So I'm sure you can. I just don't know where to point you. I bet you they have them at Home Depot. Or it's a traditional can, but has an LED bent to it. The other thing that I just ordered yesterday, I should have the invoice here at some point, is for DMF lights. And that's something I have been approved to sell, so I'm working on DMF, and DMF is going to be very likely the subscriber or the driver that I'm going to subscribe to, and then hopefully be able to offer. The Cree KR fixtures are really nice, but you need like a 10-inch deep cavity to fit the thing, and so it's a commercial design fixture. I'm looking for a residential style fixture, and so the DMF DRD series is what I'm really excited about. So we're going to try those out. I don't know what they cost. That's another thing. Like, I want to buy DMF. I wanted to do 3 rooms in the current house. So I need to buy 20 fixtures, something like that. Where? Hello? Anybody? Here's my credit card.
Take his money.
Take my money. Anybody here? Anybody on this chat? Can somebody sell me some DMF lights? Somebody. And then can you sell me a Lutron light switch to go with it? Here's my money. Anybody home? Nobody. So I'm complaining, but this is a very unique opportunity that I am adamant about, because everybody wants great light and nobody has it. I have never walked into a single person's house, and I've walked in a lot of nice houses and said, man, this lighting is fantastic. It's always an afterthought. It's always done by people who don't know anything about it, and I know the reason why. And so guess what Uncle Matty's going to do? I'm going to change the frickin' world.
Steve L. says, does OG offer or recommend any type of garden hose splitter? I have one supply line to my garage, and I'm currently splitting it at the spigot to the power washer and garden hose for rinsing.
Yeah, I don't know. I think the only one I've ever seen is Gilmore makes one, Dixon Valve, but I don't have any recommendation. I would tend to cut the wall open, or have Mike cut the wall open, and do a couple of hose bibs.
Nellie wants to know, have you found a Canadian distributor?
Well, me.
Sitting right next to me.
Yeah. I just need to, I need a facility, I need an attorney, I need all these things, tax accountant, tax attorney, and we just need to turn it loose. And so this coming month, when Mike and I kind of dig out of all these projects that we're working on, then I need to sit down and start calling all the suppliers and getting agreements. Like, how am I going to do this? How am I going to get this product up there? And then after I have those agreements, then I'm going to hire the attorney, the accountant, draw up all the documentation, and then after that's done, then we'll go find a facility and start to look for employees.
All right, this is from Marvin Aguinaga in the chat. Hey, Matt. He ordered the Mosmatic gun. Very impressive. He's from California, Fontana, California. Thank you for the podcast. Thanks, Marvin.
Yeah,
Dan.
Gun is good.
Yeah, it's really good. Dan Giustino says, got my new OG goodies yesterday. Great speedy service from Muscle Express Dan. Thanks, Dan. Decon Detailing. This is an interesting question for you, Matt. What's your advice for preventing living outside of your means?
Your gut will tell you that. I've talked about that a lot. Your gut will usually tell you if you're somewhat organized and you're not a regular person, you'll kind of have a gut reaction to what is too much and what is too little, I guess. I've always trusted my gut and always reached a little bit outside of my means, because if you follow the Dave Ramsey method, just forgo, sell your Ford truck that you love, get yourself a stinky old Camry, and then you'll be rich someday. That's one way to do it. The other way is to just gamble, roll the dice, and there's somewhere in the middle there that's probably the right way to do it.
Let's see. From Dylan in the chat, will you make a video educating people on audio? I've been wanting to dive into this topic, but it's very intimidating with how much there's to learn, and I'm not sure who is credible.
Me. And I spent about 6.5 hours yesterday making that exact video of telling you what you need to do.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I mean, there's some great resources online, great resources on, on YouTube. But the problem is most people don't tell you. No one ever tells you what to do. They always want to be so, because a lot of them are reviewers, and so reviewers are, to me, not as useful. Car reviewers, I just want somebody to tell me what to buy and why they bought it. That to me is more interesting. That's why Obsessed Garage exists. And so I'm going to tell you exactly what you want, especially for the garage. And then if you want it for the house, it's going to be some derivation of the same thing I'm putting in my garage is in my house. For instance, in my garage, I have an NAD M33 and then a pair of Dyne Audio Heritage Specials with a Dyne Audio Sub 6 or 2 Sub 6s. In my house, I just have more robust stuff. So I've got the NAD M17 preamp, NAD M22 amp, and M28 amp, so separates. And then I have the Dyne Audio Contour series, which is a big giant floor standing speakers with the Sub 6. And so the stuff that I'm suggesting with the garage, there's going to be some derivation of that for your house. And we'll have a whole bunch of educational stuff coming out here on both the Shorts channel and the regular channel.
Our close by friend here, Andrew Tinney, says, need to high lift my garage doors. Has Matt picked out an OG spec side mount garage door opener yet?
Yeah, I mean, the LiftMaster 8500W is the way to go. I mean, that's pretty much the standard. Unless you have some bigger, heavier door where you need to go to like LiftMaster, the professional line of stuff, which is a little clunkier. The LiftMaster 8500 is pretty much the only way to go. There's a cheaper Chamberlain version of it, but the LiftMaster is the one.
Dan Johnson says, hey, Matt, does OG offer warm/hot water pressure washer options?
Warm, yes. I mean, pretty much all the pressure washers are good to somewhere around 140, 145 degrees Fahrenheit. If you wanted hot, I mean, the hot one to do would be the AR630 hot, TSS hot. That one's good to 185 degrees. Unless you have a boiler, it's kind of hard to get those temps anything above 125 degrees, 130 degrees, to the pump. So the AR630 would be the way to go. And then if you're getting into hot, like boiling, then hot C is pretty much the standard in that. Where they have a boiler on board, and that's how you get higher temp stuff.
Xander DeBoer says, how would you compare Dyne Audio with Bowers and Wilkins? I've always liked my CM10s, but I'm looking for something in the garage. I'm looking for in-ceiling speakers. Would Dyne Audio compare?
B&W, until you get up to the like Nautilus 803s and 801s and the really, really fancy stuff, to me, B&W is much, much thinner, much brighter sounding, much more lively. But be honest, B&W probably appeals to a much greater percentage of males than Dyne Audio would. They're in the similar price points, price ranges. To me, Dyne Audio is much smoother, much more subdued, which I prefer. I tend to be high frequency sensitive. And B&W is going to be a little clearer, more defined, but also brighter sounding. So I've never been a B&W fan. I've had several B&W speakers. I've never had anything high-end from them, but I've heard lots of stuff. And B&W is just never they're probably the largest high-end speaker manufacturer in the world for a reason. I've just never liked them. I always preferred Kef to B&W, and out of all those, I actually preferred Monitor Audio. Monitor Audio is one of the few metal dome dependent companies that I like. Whatever the reason, they tend to do pretty well with that. But the B&W stuff is really nice, is good, but I would choose Dyne Audio every day of the week.
We're getting now into the cookies part of the chat here. We're catching up. Lots of talk about the cookies. Dan has a suggestion: send her a box of cookies with the gift card. That's a good idea. Good luck using any kind of e-commerce site if you don't want to accept the cookies. Let's see.
Somebody told her. It's probably some. Although she's in Washington, I was going to say some Trump blog or something like that told her not to do that.
Zach says, in most cases, the cookies are the chunks of data stored in your browser that tell the site who you are, what's in your cart, etc.
Yep.
This is good stuff. All right. Matthew M. has a suggestion here. He says, a friend who runs a very high-end online fly shop had a similar call-in issue to OG. He ended up setting up a phone number that had a recording that said, send us an email.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I never thought about that.
Voicemail says or email us, don't call.
That's a great idea. Let's do that for sure.
Thanks, Matthew M., for that suggestion.
Why have I never thought? I've been racking my brain on this for years.
Email.
Say, hey, stupid.
No, you can't leave the voicemail.
Somebody else is gonna leave it.
All right.
No, will catch me on a real happy day, and I will.
After you have sushi.
Yeah, real nice happy day where I'm not a calorie deficit, and I'm happy. I'm not hot. I'm not cold. It's comfortable. We had a nice sail, a good run. I washed a car. All my cars are clean. And Mike's working on something that I've been procrastinating on for a year, and I'll leave the message then and just be real appreciative, very thankful. Thank you for calling. I've been racking my brain trying to figure out how do we service you best, and this is the best way to do it. So shoot an email to support@obsessedgarage.com, and one of the team. There's only 4 or 5 people in the world that have this information, and they're all here. But if they were on the phone with you all day, they would never get anything done. So thank you, love you, appreciate you. Have a nice day.
That was a long voice.
Delete the cookies.
Lots of suggestions here about cookies, sending cookies. I just went on the website. What section are the cookies under? Brandon says, because I lost a little when you're talking about the cookies. Watching Chris break is like watching comedians break on Saturday Night Live. It's the best. That's funny, Brandon. The cookies.
Lady, can you tell me what the cookies are? Because I don't know. I mean, what's going on here?
Cheryl. Oh, Cheryl. Tyler, our friend Tyler, he's also close by here. What storage mount are you using for your mountain bike in your garage?
It's not right now. It's just sitting on the Park Tool Professional stand, which is not ideal. I need to get that thing out of there. It's just been on there because I've been waiting for. It's called Top Lift, I believe.
Is that the Kickstarter thing you did, or is that a different thing?
What's it called? I'm looking for that.
All right. While you're doing that, Zach says he works in IT, and his voicemail greeting says to email me before trying any other method of contact. They're on to something there.
Yeah.
Mike J says, what's the current exhaust setup on the GT4? What's the plan moving forward?
I think it's good. I just have the sole over axle pipes, the factory rear section with the valves disconnected, and I think it's great. So I think I'm going to leave it alone.
Joshua wants to know, what triggers Matt more? Folks asking for a status on their stubby nozzle, or asking if he chose to stack the garage tile versus stagger. It's not even my garage, and that last one triggers my STFU reflex. That's good. Speaking of ego nozzles, that's the prototype thing?
Yeah. So this is the functional injection molded prototype. I think there's a few modifications for the final version, but it looks pretty darn legit for $60. I feel like I'm getting a lot here. So nice. David Beaver killed it with this thing. So yeah, we since we have a working prototype, that means the injection mold is done, which means that the first 1,000 ought to be produced here soon, which means they should be on a boat here soon. And so, you think we're on schedule for, January, February time frame. See what I did there? I threw a little February in for people just in case.
It's good.
Maybe March, April, June, July, 2023.
Yeah. Black Friday next year.
Yeah. So, I thought I made it pretty clear where these things were and what we were expecting. And they're looking good.
Let me get an update because we get this question every week about how many we've pre-sold so far. We're at 850 right now out of the first 1,000 are claimed. So if you want one, now would be a good time to do that. We got 150 left on the first shipment. Dear Matt and Chris, this is from Nicholas E90. A couple of weeks ago, I told you about my family members that wouldn't stop putting wine glasses on my new Ford Ranger. I'm happy to say I gave them the Mormon yelling treatment. There you go. Hopefully it worked.
Yeah, that's good.
Trera CP, have you ever filmed an entire video just to find out it wasn't recording?
Oh, 100 times?
Or the audio?
Oh,
or
usually the
microphone
audio,
issue?
yeah. Or out of focus. And at least 50 times, probably around 100. Yeah, and that sucks.
Jason Irwin, Super Chat, $5 US. Swiss Trax flooring. It expands and contracts with temp toolbox benches I have on top of it. Can't move at all. So the middle ends up popping up? ? I confused myself reading that, so I'm not sure what the question is. But
Well, he's saying that he has all of his equipment. He has them, these workbenches. He can't move around.
Gotcha.
And then what it's probably trying to do, my guess is if it's doing that, he either has wheels or he has feet that are pinpointing on a certain spot. So like all of our racking here, we would get that as well, and eventually the racking would cut through the tile and then it would release. Or I'd take a multi-tool and release the pressure. So what's happening is probably just heavy enough that it's trying to push through the tile to the floor. And so one way to solve that would be to create a relief. And so you would, if there's a foot, you'd want to cut out the foot area so the foot can rest on the floor. You usually don't have that with like large cabinet arrays because it distributes the weight, across multiple tiles. And so it sounds like he needs to, relief cut it somewhere, either cut out where the feet are, or maybe if it's heavy enough, put the toolboxes on the bare ground. But that sounds to me like it's a wheel or foot issue.
Improved Garage, $10 US. I want to buy lights in January, looking for something dimmable with the ability to adjust color. What do I want, and can OG sell it to me?
You're not going to like this. It would cost you a lot of money to do that, to do it well. You want Cree either Flex or CR troffers, which I'm not 100% sure yet. We got to get them to try and figure out because the documentation doesn't really make a lot of sense yet. The color shifting is not an easy thing. Any kind of like Philips Hue, Cree Connected Max, like these are not good lights. They're not quality light. So the color temperature shifting stuff gets really expensive because then we need to do a Cree Smart Hub, which is a good $1,000 or so in order to be able to control it. The other lights that I don't like are Lutron Ketra. Those are like $900 a piece or something like that. But I don't like those lights at all. So you're gonna have to wait a little while until I can figure this out. But look at Cree. Go to creelighting.com. And you're looking at the professional stuff, and you're looking at CR troffers or Flex troffers. Those are 90 CRI, high quality, high output. They make them in a 1x4, a 2x4, and a 2x2. I don't know the pricing on them, but I'd assume the fixtures are probably somewhere around $300 or $400 a piece. And then your control is probably going to be another $1,500 or so to do that. So, in a normal garage, let's say they're $300 a piece. You need 9 of them. There's $3,000 there, and then you need some lighting controls. So probably $4,000 for a normal size garage lighting to do that.
Neil White tells us that Turtle Wax is doing a product line unveiling in 20 minutes. I'm sure Matt is stoked about that. So I went to the website here. I guess are those new? Oh, we have to accept cookies.
I don't want the cookies, Chris. No cookies. Cookies are what got me into this mess.
By clicking Accept All Cookies, you agree to the storing of cookies on your device to enhance site navigation, analyze site usage, and assist in our marketing efforts.
What did you say?
Settings. It doesn't say you don't have a no. You just have accept them all. Send me all the cookies. That's funny. So there's their new stuff.
What?
Is that it? Or maybe it's not happened yet.
Pure
Wash. Rapid Decon Wheel Cleaner. Tire shine, something missed.
I'm sure it's just remarkable, game-changing, magical, greatest product, always, quote, quote, for the money.
Well, thanks, Neil. Well, Matt will watch that when he gets home.
It sucks some IQ points right out of my brain.
All right, we have a super chat from Elk Road Garage, who asked the question earlier about storage. in his cabinets. He says, "Thank you for your advice, and yes to the nylon boxes. I need ones 10 inches size for mill ends, etc."
Yeah, check out, follow Jake of All and Neat Tools on Instagram. They're making all kinds of 3D printed stuff for that kind of thing. I'm sure they'll ship internationally as well, but they're taking like Milwaukee Packout trays, and they're making various trays and creating all kinds of systems for storing that kind of like mill tools, like router bits and things like that, and wood augers and all kinds of stuff. So they've been working on creating, because there really isn't a solution, and so it doesn't really exist. And so guys like that are figuring out how to organize these kind of things via Milwaukee Packout, but then you could adapt that to a drawer as well. So check those out.
That was a super chat. That was 50 Danish krones, as it turns out, which is $7.61 US. Interesting. Alfredo says the season 14 opener for Heartland is like Matt driving his car through an automatic car wash. Shocking.
Yeah, it wasn't as shocking for me because we all knew that that he wasn't coming back.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, that Ty, who is played by Graham Wardle, was looking. He was going to go and do something else with his life. So us super fans, we knew that was coming. I had to swallow the frog though in my throat. That was pretty sad.
All right, let's see. Armando wants to know, hey, Matt, are you doing a paint to sample on the GT3 Touring? And if so, which color?
Yeah, Brewster Green.
Here's a good question I know the answer to. Arthur wants to know, which kind of coffee do you drink in the garage? He doesn't drink coffee.
That is a none.
He and I have that in common.
I've never had I don't know what coffee tastes. I've never had it.
It doesn't taste good. You're not missing anything.
Never had it. Never tasted it. Never. No caller ID.
Oh, it's Cheryl. She's calling.
She got rid of cookies on her phone. No phone cookies either.
Man.
Turns out Cheryl is like a lead engineer for Microsoft. She's going to hack my whole system and crash it. Our site is about to crash.
Yep. And her sister's in the HOA where you live. If you're in trouble with that. Brandon says, I can get you in contact with someone at Crescent Electric if you need it. Wanting to know about dimmers and such. Check out Crescent Electric Supply Company. They may have what you need. We'll write that one down.
Nothing worse than electrical supply companies. You want to talk about a group of people who know less about products than anybody on the planet, and they're in charge of all the products.
All right, Kevin says, I know Matt has mentioned skateboarding and mountain biking before. Has he ever tried snowboarding?
Yeah, I grew up snowboarding. That's why I don't really snowboard anymore, because I spent half my life doing it.
And then do you have any recommendations for an OG snowboarding destination?
It depends on if you're just free riding or if you're going pipe and all that stuff. I mean, I always liked Breckenridge. I thought Breckenridge was great, but I haven't been to a lot of places. I've spent all of my time at Big Boulder Jack Frost in northeastern PA. So, and the only other place I've ever gone is Breckenridge. And from what I understand, the disadvantage of Breckenridge is a lot of flat. So you're kicking in your bindings a lot. You're out of your binding a lot on a lot of the flat areas. So if you're newer to snowboarding, it's brutal. You're trying to stay balanced and not fall over, getting off the lifts and all that.
All right, we have a super chat from Shaz29, $4.99. Opinions on ported versus sealed subs. My TV's an open concept basement used for TV shows, movies, and music. Currently leaning towards sealed.
Yeah, I mean, the driver technology has improved so drastically over the last few decades that I think ported and sealed really is dependent on how the person made the box. So I think a ported sub can sound great, and I think a sealed sub can sound great. I tend to prefer the sound of a sealed woofer. I just feel like it sounds tighter, more accurate. But again, it comes down to how the subwoofer is designed. My current favorite subwoofer on the planet right now is the Dynaudio Sub 6. I am absolutely in love with that thing. And then basically the core sub is like two of those in one box. And and I'm a bit of a sub connoisseur. At one point I had like 13 subs sitting over there. I'm like, what am I doing with all these subs? I had JL subs, I had JTR subs, I had some homemade Dayton audio subs that I made, I had Velodyne subs, I had an SVS. I had freaking subs coming out of all the orifices, and I think that again, if I think back, most of the subs that I tend to prefer, especially if I'm listening to any kind of music, would be sealed.
All right, we have a question or to follow up real quick with Shaz29 there. On the topic of subs, will a foam plug on a ported sub help make it sound more sealed, or is that just a marketing gimmick?
When you plug a port, a lot of times it can help remove some of the boominess that you'd have, and that's usually dependent on the sort of the resonant frequency of the room. I've been doing a lot of research on acoustics, and I've been watching that one guy I was talking about, Dennis, who's what was it called, acoustic something on YouTube, and again, I think ported and sealed is less important than the room dynamics, and so you just have to play with it. But I don't know. I mean, usually at the area acoustic fields, check that guy out. He's like angrier than me. He's just an angry, mean old man, and I really appreciate that. He just tells you like it is. He thinks everybody's stupid. Because they usually are, and he treats them like it, and I love it.
Super chat from Evan B, $4.99. I'm looking to start meal prepping. What do you recommend?
Do the opposite of whatever I do. It'd be a good candidate.
Pay someone else to do it for you.
Yeah, the meal prep systems, like, was it Trifecta? The ones you see all the time. It's just freaking, they always taste like vomit. What was the first one? Nutrisystem or something? What was that the first one that would send you those kind of meals? But like all like the paleo or the stuff that you find. One good company that will provide you a good plan if you do get into prepping and you do a good job at it and you enjoy it. The problem is it's really hard to meal prep if you don't like doing it, and I don't like doing it. RP, Renaissance Periodization, RP Performance is a great guide. You can pay, like a few $100, and they provide you with, what do you need? What are the macronutrients you need? The problem is it has you eating like 5 cups of broccoli, right? It's like 9 cups of green beans. Like I can't even eat 3 of them, let alone 3 cups. And I pay someone to do it for me. And last night I was so hungry. I'm going to tell you what I ate last night for dinner.
Did you eat your prepped food?
No.
In addition to whatever's about?
No. But that's normally what I do. But I was just starving, cold because I'm so hungry, and tired as crap. So I got home at like 5:30, which is rare for me. So I went to the gym in the morning, and normally I'm either home late from the gym or late from here. And so I was home at like 5:30. I'm like, oh man, I'm so freaking hungry. So I couldn't, there was too much of a time gap there, like from 5:30 till 10:30 when I go into sleep. That's usually when I fall off the freaking farm. And so then Michelle, she does this to me all the time. She bought like the big giant Sam's Club box of like individual bags of chips. And this time, she didn't buy. They're like the medium size bags. You know what I'm talking about? Like there's like the small bags, like normal, but then there's like the one step up size. Yeah. So I ate 4 of those as a palate cleanser of Ruffles, sour cream, and cheddar, chips. Oh man! So I ate 4 of those. And then she'd also bought like the Sam's Club like banana nut muffins, like those big fat muffins. Yeah. So I ate I ate one of those with like half a pound of butter on it. And then she also bought Dunkaroos. So I ate 2 packages of Dunkaroos.
I feel like she's setting you up for this.
And then she also got Nutella, those little sticks that you dip into the little thing. And so what I do is I open 2 of them, throw half the sticks out. Right. And then I just, take the other sticks and use that on like the little Nutella thing. I ate 2 or 3 of those. and then I drank about a quarter of like a quarter gallon of whole milk. And I felt terrible. I still feel a little salty from all that. It's a disaster. Total disaster. How many calories do you think that is? Oh my god.
That's a lot. 3,000?
Oh, and I had a couple of swigs of not half and half, but
GSF?
the other one. No, not half and half. What's the
cream?
full? Yeah, the
What's it called?
heavy whipping cream.
Yeah, heavy whipping
you ever
cream.
drink that? It's so good.
By itself?
Yeah, it's so good. If you like slosh it around in your mouth.
Man.
I don't know why I did that. That's what I did. I'm not joking you. That's exactly what I ate. This is why I'm in the position I'm in and not ripped.
Man. But did you at least work out today to counteract that?
No.
No.
I did yesterday, though.
Oh, yeah.
It's terrible. So I was on my macro-based meal prep, and I just went freaking nutty.
So Evan,
and then Michelle brought home some pizza with the kids. And I had a slice of Little Caesars. I was sick as crap, and I'm like, well, let me just have that. It's actually pretty good. And then several of the like cheesy bread things, because I'd already ruined it. Once I ate the one bag, there was one moment after one bag of Ruffles, like, all right, that's all I needed. And I'm like, well, nope, I ruined it. Let's go. I ate 3 more bags of it, and then all the way I'm contemplating, all right, shut her down.
Oh, man.
I'm like, all right, let me just go eat my meal now. My shredded chicken on a whole wheat buffalo, with some like buffalo sauce on there, some concoction that my lady makes for me.
So Evan, all that to say, if you're gonna do meal prepping, you gotta
Ask somebody else, because I'm not your guy.
Well,
I gave him his money's worth there, though.
Yeah, $5 well spent, Evan. Thanks. Alex wants to know, curious what pillow you use. That comes up often. I looked it up again. The Columbia Cooling Gel pillow.
Love it.
Yeah. That's are you guys selling Blue Sound stuff right now? Do you have to email support? Frank L wants to know.
Yes and yes.
Yeah, so email support and they can help you find them. What about NAD? Are you selling those?
Yes.
All right. Someone asked what this little gizmo is I was playing with. This is the 5-gallon tap, which we found you can put into your 5-gallon jugs to make it a little easier to get
Did
stuff
someone
out.
really ask you, or are you just product placing us in here?
The latter.
I figured as much.
I tried.
Yeah, that's a good job.
is-
I caught you. Call you out. I'll call you out for the people.
So this is the tap you use, put in your 5-gallon brake buster, and
I like that, though. That's pretty clever. I would have never thought to do that.
Yeah.
Just like I would have never thought to have a phone number with me. I should leave like an hour-long message. That's what we need to do.
People just hang up. Stop.
I just start talking about my day. How's it going? How you doing? I appreciate you calling. Everything's great. Let me tell you a little bit about the audio. We got garage audio now. Let me tell you about that. Just keep going and going and going. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. This will be great.
Let's see here.
We'll change it once a month, and I'll do a whole new hour-long diatribe. And then people at the end will be like emailing all angry to support because they're waiting, thinking they're on hold.
Let's see. Elk Road Garage chimed back in, asked about Tool Grid and if we ship to Europe. He was the one who was asking about the storage. Yes, we definitely ship to Europe every single day. Elk Road.
And it's a lot of money to ship that stuff, but we can. Yep.
Rephrased says, if I'm staying with stock wheels on the Model 3 Performance, 15mm spacer for the front and back,
Yes.
and then 245/35 tire.
I know you can safely do a 245. I think you could probably squeeze a 255 would look even better, but I haven't confirmed that. I didn't try it. But 245/35/20, 15mm spacer. Take that goofy take the wheel, when you take the wheel off, paint the hub. Take that goofy little plastic hubcap, center cap thingy off and throw that in the garbage. And in many ways, I think it looks better than those fancy Vossen wheels I have. But, they are kind of douchey wheels, the turbines.
Jonathan wants to know, have you guys changed your mic stands, or am I going mad?
Yeah. These are the regular lower mount or undermount Mika system instead of the ones that were blocking our face.
Yeah.
So yes.
It's been a few months, Jonathan. So. Have you tried the Koch Active Foam or any of the new ones coming soon to the U.S.?
Not yet, but I'm sure we will.
Let's see. Kevin says 2 topics about your top products. I guess like the ones we sell the most. 1, would you make a page that highlights them? And 2, what are some of your top products that you discovered in 2021? GSF was new in 2021, right? You like that one?
Yeah. That's a hard one because everything I sell is a top product. That's why it's there, So we're not, other than like pressure washers that have a progression. I mean, the other stuff we don't really have much of a progression on things. Like we have one vise, we have one soap, we have one one wash pad, So we don't have a lot of room for that kind of stuff. I mean, so I love everything that we sell. I'm trying to think of something that I don't love as much, and usually that doesn't last very long.
We have a thank you, Obsessed Garage, chiming in the chat. The 5-gallon tap does not work on GSF 5 liters.
Yeah, there's no tap for
Yeah,
it.
different size, I guess. Let's see. My WRX channel wants to know, is eating allowed in any of your cars?
I'm allowed to eat whatever I want. I just don't. I eat and drink in the kitchen. Speaking of your next product placement there.
Yes, this is one that you don't like. You don't want any part of.
Yeah.
Kyle, this is made by Blue Tree. It's the same people who make the desktops and the countertops. So it's an OG coaster, which is now live in the store. So all the guys next door have them all set up with their bottles of Mountain Dew and Monster on their desk. You've got one over there with your little cup of water sitting on it.
I don't know why
coasters
to me feel like white trash. Like it's like the epitome of, I don't know, it just reminds me of the trailer park. Like that would be an aspirational thing to get a set of coasters. But I like drink your freaking water in the kitchen, and that countertop doesn't need a coaster. And just drink it at room temperature, and it's not gonna, especially like here. Like, I'm not concerned about having a special ice water and all that. I don't know. It's just freaking seems stupid.
pH balanced ice water.
Yeah, but if we're going to have it, we might as well have some cool ones.
Yeah. So they are hex shaped with a little circle in there to keep things where it's supposed to be.
But it's something, it's called Paper Stone. It's like a hybrid non-wood. It's pretty cool.
We have a super chat from Shane Payette. Looks like Australian money here, $30.99 Australian. Hey, Matt, you mentioned in one of your vlogs your friend who makes the QD for the foam cannon made an upgrade to them. Just wanted to know when the update to the quick disconnect for the foam cannon will be available. Thanks.
Do you know? Is it like the next batch?
I don't know.
Maybe we should ask Rusty about that. I don't think he was asking me. I think he was telling me this is what we're doing. I'm not sure. Are we sold out of those right now?
I'll look here.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that. I probably should. So we're gonna need to figure that out. We'll talk to you about it on the next week's podcast. But it's just a little bit smoother. It's like adjusted something with the retainer ring, and the ball bearings, and it's just a little bit has a little less play, and it's a little smoother.
Colin Campbell has a super chat here, $19.99. Any tricks on removing swirl marks on the plastic panels found near the keypads on the doors of the modern F-150, 250, 350, etc.? Even though mine is coated, something about this plastic just shows swirl marks easily.
Yeah, that's part of it. It's just so soft. I mean, I think the way to go is around there as you would want to PPF it. You can't PPF over the buttons, over the keypads, but at least you could polish it and then put PPF, which even if you don't polish it to perfection, the PPF will mask a lot of that. That's really the only way to do it, because every time you touch it or wipe it, it jacks it up.
All right, let's see. We have a question from Steve Place in the chat. How is your stomach not turned inside out right now? Years of practice.
Yeah, I am freaking. That was nothing. That was a Saturday afternoon snack. Unfortunately,
Morgan Butler said Little Debbie Christmas tree cakes got him or her. I haven't had those. I've seen those all over the place.
If I would have had those, I would have eaten them all.
Xander wants to know. We've been over this before, but we'll remind Xander and our other European friends. Maybe a weird question, but if you're shipping a lot of products to Europe, when will you have a Europe distribution place to reduce tax and shipping time?
Yeah, we're working on that.
Number 2 or 3 on the list.
Yep.
Canada, Australia, Europe, Philippines. Let's see. Mike says, put your drinks in a Yeti or other quality cup. No condensation ever.
It's this big bulky cup. I just got like a little throwaway plastic cup over there. I get a drink when I'm thirsty instead of walking around sipping on a freaking baby bottle all day. Like you babies. I guarantee you I drink more water than any of you who are walking around sipping your little bottle. It's like, and this is another thing. Like I don't. Like people talk, you got to drink more water. Just drink when you're thirsty. I think that's people who drink non-water things. Like they feel like they need to drink more water. I've never once like carrying around like I got to drink a certain amount of water. Your body will tell you when you're thirsty, and you'll drink it. And you drink. If you stop drinking a bunch of other weird crap, then you'll drink tons of water. Just walk in the kitchen, get a cup, fill it up to as much as you think you're going to drink it, and then come back when you need some more. Why do I need to carry it around here? It's in my car. It's in my bag. It's on my desk. It's on my toolbox. It's in my cabinets. You got freaking water everywhere you go. What's the point? It's like, and then you end up taking like 2 sips the whole day. It's like Kate. Kate's like, I'm so thirsty. She goes crazy, and then she takes like 2 sips and leaves.
She's done.
She's done. Yeah. It doesn't make any sense.
Yoshi wants to know, have you tried the Little Debbie's Christmas tree ice cream yet? It's been talked about.
I didn't get any of it.
Yeah, we haven't seen it yet.
You guys haven't come through for me. No one shipped it to me.
I'll check at Publix today. And let's see. Oh, our Brad wanted me to mention also that the 5-gallon drying aid is now available, and this thing fits on it. So that's good. So those of you who go through lots of drying aid, now you can buy 5 gallons of it if you really want to. Which they've been working on that for a little while. Let's see. Let me get to a couple of these Facebook questions. Michael J. I have a 22 CGTS 4.0. My order locks next week. What are your thoughts on full leather versus the GTS/Race Tech?
Definitely
interior?
full leather. Yeah, the full leather's much nicer.
John W. Which ego blower should I get to dry my car? Would the 530 CFM be sufficient, or do I need the 650?
Yeah, they're all great. The 530 is less shrill. You could use that without ear protection. The 650 would freaking blow your eardrums out.
Yeah.
But, the 650 is more useful around the house, blowing off leaves and stuff like that. But if you didn't have both of them right next to each other, you'd think the 530 was plenty. So they're all good. The advantage of the 530, it doesn't use as much power either, much energy, so you can run it with smaller batteries and do a whole car with it. So... I think any of them are fine. I think it really comes down to because they run on these crazy sales all the time. Which one are you getting on sale? They've taught us never buy it retail, always buy it on sale. It's stupid.
Let's see. My WRX channel, $5 super chat. What country do you get the most orders from other than the USA?
Well, Canada.
Yeah, Canada, I think, is next, and then Australia may actually be
bigger than the UK. Yeah.
Yeah, Australia is pretty good, and they got DHL delivering pretty quickly.
Yep.
Sometimes DHL gets it to Australia quicker than UPS can get it to California. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Let's see. Xander, our European friend, says, good to know about the distribution. Have you gotten any alternatives for your water tap solution? I really like our European Quooker tap, but don't know if there might be better solutions.
Yeah, I don't know. He's talking about the HydroTap thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Zip HydroTap.
Yeah, I don't know. I have to look that up. Because the HydroTap, it's okay. It's a little janky.
Morgan Butler tells me, hey, Chris, I don't think Publix has that ice cream, but I hear Walmart does.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I don't go into Walmart.
It'll taste weird then, probably tainted with grossness.
Oh, man. Alex S. from Facebook says, I just watched the cabinet video on the big garage build-out. Do you have any plans to offer a loaded 1540 or a set of foam inlays that will fit the drawers nicely? I think that would be a great one-cabinet solution.
Yeah, I'd like to do that. Kyle and I have it on the list to go and kind of revamp the lists of what we would, what tools we're recommending.
Let's see. From Ethan S. Have you given any thought to adding shipping costs into the product cost and offering free shipping? Now that there are a lot of new people you're reaching that may not be as obsessed and succumb to marketing gimmicks like free shipping, it could help people that don't know what OG is about and not get turned off when visiting the site and seeing shipping cost.
Yeah, the problem then is your ranking goes down, and people will just not buy the stuff, because then they'll just go and see it's less money elsewhere. I don't know. I just like to be transparent with people instead of trying to. Then you start cooking the books or you start baking in more than what it actually costs to ship, and I don't like doing that kind of stuff.
Let's see. Tim S. says, I most likely missed this discussion a long time ago, but why a leaf blower for post-wash water removal and not an air compressor hose?
Just output. An air compressor is going to have extremely low output in comparison, so the air volume. So the pinpoint accuracy of the air coming out of an air compressor will be much greater, but it doesn't have the volume that a leaf blower will have. And so you just can't get a whole heck of a lot done with an air compressor, whereas a leaf blower you can get, blow the whole car off in minutes.
Neil White, who told us about the turtle wax thing, shame on him, he left, I guess, and went to go watch it. He said, Turtle Wax just released their new lineup, wheel cleaners, interior products, and a new foam wash. So there you go.
I'm sure it's freaking fantastic. I'm sure they had some real solid insight on a bunch of people don't know how to detail a car, telling you about their car detailing products.
Shane, our Australian friend, is back. He says, Matt, what breaker bar and torque wrench would you recommend for taking wheels on and off? Looking to do it myself for a tire rotation.
I'm not using breaker bars anymore. I'm using the mid-torque, the Milwaukee mid-torque. And then I like the Sonic Click, the Click torque wrenches we have on the site. I like those a lot.
From Instagram, Champagne Chugger. I have a few things that the webpage doesn't indicate reserve your spot is needed, and the items being ordered are not listed on the out-of-stock section, yet they haven't been shipped yet. When do you think all the Hex member orders will be caught up from last weekend? Probably next week.
Yeah, I would say probably Tuesday to Thursday next week. Then we'll be able to update our out-of-stock page as well as getting all of our stuff updated on our reserve your spot emails. So we're working really diligently on that. We found that anybody who's waiting on something, it's usually, we usually have a few weeks lead time before people start freaking out. But it's not an excuse. It's just the time we need to kind of let all the dust settle. And then we can start to really, update everybody where their things are.
Let's see. Jimmy JV01 on Instagram asked a question I think you'll like. In your opinion, what other markets are crying out for an improvement in the quality of their products and services?
Well, lighting is the big thing. I think
fans.
Yes, God, that's a great one. Fans that have some great fans that aren't ridiculously priced. I mean, it just doesn't make sense that an overhead fan is like $4,000. Just doesn't make any sense at all. It shouldn't be that much. If I'm thinking it's too much money, then it's way too much. I'll have to think about them. I'm sure there's some other categories.
Douglas Petronzi wants to know, do we have any ETA on garden hoses? Not that I'm aware of.
No, we have a line on some Continental Frontier garden hose, possibly getting a large quantity of it and us making them ourselves. We're scrambling. We're trying to find some solution. It's that the yarn for that type of stuff, and I think my guess is due to raw material shortages that garden hoses are kind of getting pushed for hydraulic and more critical type hoses. I don't know. So we're working on it, but I don't have an ETA just yet.
Let's see. We have a question from Mark Lipton on Instagram. Hey, Matt, you're all about debadging, yet you wear clothes with logos. What's the deal?
I said that the other day. I can't use my own words against me. I can't answer that for you.
All right. Nice try, Mark.
Yeah, I think clothes look weird without a logo on it. Cars look better with. I think it's just the look.
All right, Richard L. says, Turtle Wax now has a wheel and tire cleaner and a regular wheel cleaner for those times when you just need to clean wheels, but the tire seems fine.
That's freaking stupid. Freaking idiots. Is that what they're saying?
I guess so.
So we've got it. We've got the solution here. Now, everybody else has had this for 15 years, but we've got it. Those of you who want to clean your wheels and tires, we have a wheel and tire cleaner. And those of you who want to just clean your wheels, we have a wheel cleaner. And for those of you who want to just clean your tires, we have a tire cleaner. We don't know how any of this works. We don't know how to do any of it, but that's what we have. And so we mixed up some simple green and changed the dilution of it in several different instances. And now we've got a simple green that works for multiple applications. And then we sprinkled in some black powder that we're calling graphene. thank you very much for your time. And if you have questions, don't ask us because we don't know the answer because we don't actually wash cars or detail them. We don't know what we're doing. When we go to car shows, what we do is wipe the whole car down from top to bottom with one towel and our magic graphene spray.
So there you have it. And Richard did note that there was no graphene listed on that stuff. So.
Well, this is not the high-end line. Yeah, this is the medium-end line. Then you need to have 47 different lines to cater to all levels of stupidity, from maximum stupidity to minimum stupidity, and everything in between. But Matt, you don't understand. It's really good value for the money. As if detailing products are all that much money, for gosh sakes. The difference between $33 and $38. If that's changing your life, you shouldn't be worried about washing your car. You should be doing something else to make that not matter that much to you. God dang it, freaking idiots.
Will C has a quick question for you, then we'll get going here in just a minute. I have a question. How much time do you need to wait to really polish a paint in the car? I just painted my car this past year.
Oh, 0 minutes. Usually by the time you get the car off the, because there's most paint systems you'll cure within hours. That was a bigger thing. Back in the day, you'd have like off gassing. So you can usually the paint manufacturer will know, or at least they'll make it up. But generally speaking, by the time you've gotten your car back, it's been some of the body panels have cured, and you're usually okay. If you want to be ultra safe, a week, 20 days. I mean, even then, unless it's some real archaic old, paint system, you can polish it, like a new car. I mean, it was painted months ago by the time it gets to you generally. So, you usually don't have to wait at all.
And Bywall asked a question we were asked about last week. Hi, Matt. Have you gotten a chance to try P&S Dream Maker yet?
Nope.
Still haven't tried it.
Maybe it's not. It must not be that good because no one sent me a bottle of it. So if it was that good, I mean, you'd think that I would have gotten a bottle of it. But yeah, I don't know. I need to buy one. Try it.
That's all the questions we got for now. It's 3:33 on the East Coast. Hopefully we've given you something to think about here the last hour or so. So thank you. Yeah, cookies.
Except the cookies.
We need to go fix that order and add some cookies. I think we have cookies here too.
Who is this?
Sure.
You called me, lady. What do you mean, who is this? Yeah, thanks, people. We'll see you next week.
We'll be back next week.
I need some